Good morning, traders. So how are we going to trade the Aussie today? So I think first things first, this level of 51.70, if you look to the left, you'll see in 2017 for 2 months it was used as a resistance level. So we kept bumping our head against it till eventually we broke through. So you can see this was a flat top triangle that formed here. So pretty significant level at the moment, and I also just want to add this level to the top because as far as I'm concerned right now, we have got a pretty well defined range, and I suspect there's more of the same for the rest of this month. And until we break either side of this is we're going to stay pretty much in the middle of the Bollinger here on the daily and just run along the 200 moving average. So let's just get down to the levels that we can trade. So, before we get there, so the point of that whole ramble was that we're looking for longs at the bottom of the range, and we'll be looking for shorts at the top of the range until we break this either way. Okay, so let's get down to time frames that we can trade today. And I can tell you now, right off the cuff, I'm looking for longs, and a couple of reasons for that. Firstly, we are at the bottom of a range. Secondly, we had a downward trend line yesterday in this consolidation phase, which broke to the upside, and we've had a retest of that break. We also have diversions, and we've also got a grouping of the oscillators, and the awesome oscillator momentum is up. Okay, so for me, this is a perfect opportunity to be looking for a long, and the area that I'm looking for a long is going to be hopefully somewhere around this zone. Okay, so I'm looking for a close of the gap, preferably. So that's a good 100, just say it's a 150 point zone along the bottom here that I'm looking for an entry. Okay, if you are sitting long from the bottom here, I think pretty wise move, and you can keep a stop. So if you manage to get in on this level, you can still keep a 100-point stop loss, which should be more than adequate for any fluctuations that are going to happen. Okay, second part of it, let's just have a look at the closing range of yesterday. Closing range was a gap down and a runaway to target 4. Not something that I think you would have been able to trade. I definitely didn't take that trade. So I was looking for the consolidation at the bottom, and I'm looking for the move back to the upside. So what you've got to remember is that we'll measure the targets now, but there are a couple of targets that we need to worry about. And the first one is the swing low, which coincides with the high of yesterday. So that's our very first target we need to take care of. And obviously that is the triangle break to the upsides target as well. Okay, so this level of 56.90 is my first target for today. Right, but in saying that, let us just move. Okay, so you'll notice how the closing range today is exactly the same as what it was. Well, yesterday's closing range is exactly the same as what it was the day before. Okay, and that often happens. I often see that especially on the Aussie, where the last hour, the range of the last hour trades in is almost identical on the different days. But anyway, a bit of useless information. The breaks above, let's get a level in. So obviously a break above 54.50 is going to trigger your upside moves, and you can see the breakout target is the high of yesterday. And if we get through that, so if we do get through this level, then the next logical level is going to be this swing low and this swing high. Okay, so that would be 59.28, and if we get through that, then you're looking at the gap close and then the top of range. Okay, so you pretty much have, let's just take it from the top here. Your first target is around 240 points. Your second target, which coincides with the 200 moving average on the 30, you can see there, that's 360 points. Your next target is 470 points, and then you have 5 call it 600 points, and then all the way to the top, you have a good 990 point trade. Okay, so that's kind of my setup for today. And again, typical Friday, a beautiful setup arrives at the bottom of a range where you can have a swing trade to the top. But yeah, it's not something that I'd like to do over the weekend, especially not with Mr. Trump and Twitter. Okay, so that's my take at the moment. Just want to have a final little look at a lower time frame and just delete all the noise. And you can see on the 12 minutes how Bollinger Bands have come together and we are now in a Bollinger Squeeze. Okay, so sorry, let's just make sure that we're all on the same page, because a break below this level is obviously going to bring some downside in, and the downside targets are pretty much going to be like that. And one more, which will be there. Okay, so your downside targets, if we do break below 51.50, then you're looking at 49.900 and 49.800, and then 49.525. There's actually even a lower gap there, so that'll be 49.400. Okay, I doubt it. I do doubt that we're going to move to the downside. I think the higher probability trade this morning is to the upside. And way to do this is to get the 6 minutes up and get your trend line in. Okay, so we broke up, broke back down, testing it. So we're looking for this gap to close. If we can get this gap closed, that would be an ideal entry. So definitely here around 5,300 would be a perfect entry for long. And then what you're going to need to do is just watch your 200 moving averages, because there will be a seller stepping in there, and just watch out for the Bollinger Band. Double check that you have a turn in the alligator pointing to the upside, and then hopefully we can just have a slow, gentle meander to the upside. That would be ideal. Anyway, that's my take on the Aussie. Hope it helps. Enjoy the rest of the day, enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch up with you later. Cheers.